Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get to the JRC in a moment. First, real brief disclaimer. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links can be found in the description box. So should you like the deep dive on the subjects, you're definitely able to do so. Trigger warnings, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. I do use profanity. And when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, you're going to hear some vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. So if you got a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision very much advised, all right? So, where we left off yesterday. All right, here we go here. All right, so this one says, I feel very strongly that shock devices are unethical to use and that they should be banned from the use at the Judge Rotenberg Center. They are unethical. There's no thinking about it. They're unethical. It's saying. That's all. And let's go here. All right, so this one states, electric shock devices are cruel and inhumane. As an autistic individual, I'm especially concerned about how they are used to coerce neurodivergent individuals. Okay, so some of these it looks like we have already read previously, so we're going to go ahead and skip through a few. But that being said, this actually should be repeated multiple times on a loudspeaker all around the world 24 hours a day until that place is closed. I am just saying, is all. All right, I think we were about here. Okay, so this one says, this is definitely the best idea and humane option. Anyone could become disabled in some way and develop aggression and harmful behaviors. Thank you. Us neurodivergent do not have the monopoly on unhinged behavior. Have you seen the neurotypicals lately? Got one word for you. ICE. Yep, we're the ones who are badly behaved. I'll take somebody flapping their hands straight to joy and happiness over someone invading my home without a warrant or any attempt to try to identify themselves any day. Twice on Sunday, in case anyone's wondering. So I never understand why someone would think that electrocution is a good idea if they wouldn't be jazzed about it happening to them, if they say got a spinal or brain damage that affects those things. Which they can, by the way. Smart and the right thing to do. We shouldn't treat any human being like a dog with a shock collar. By the way, if I catch you putting a shock collar on a dog, you and me are going to be having a conversation with the pavement. I said what I said. All right, let's read this one here. It says, I am a person with disabilities and I have autistic friends. I want the FDA to pass the rule banning the use of electric shock devices for behavioral modification. It is horrifying to imagine my friends and strangers being treated in this inhumane way. Treatment of any disability should not cause harm. Thank you. Particular intentional harm. Because, you know, the JRC gets that confused so often. All right, let's go here. Very simple. Stop the shock. Straight to the point. I like it. All right, this one says, as a behavior analyst, I do not align and will never align myself with these devices. How about with aversive therapy overall? Yes, even the psychological so-called consequences of ABA. See, here's the thing. Psychological or physical Adversive therapy is adversive therapy. It doesn't stop being adversive just because you found more flowery, PC correct words to rewrite your ABA manual with. You want to make sure something like this can never happen again? Get the idea of so-called consequences for behaviors that are out of people's control, completely out of your medical framework, and then maybe we can start having conversations about how there are other ways we might hamper down on the abuse of disabled people. Because there's a lot underneath that you all don't realize is contributing to a type of culture like this. If we don't deal with the root issue, much like the JRC not dealing with the root issue, then the problem's just going to sit there and continue to foster for another 2 to 3 decades. We must honor that code both for ourselves and the humans we have committed ourselves to helping stop the shock. I try to be kind. I know some of these people really do have best intentions and really good hearts, but they've got to start seriously thinking about the things that they are doing, the things that they are saying, the things that they believe, and figure out if that sounds logical, coherent, or fair to them. To go through that handbook and determine whether or not they would approve of that sort of thing being done to them and act accordingly. Because as long as we have this concept that they think that by punishing us for behaviors we don't have control over, that somehow that's going to help us get control of it, has not really seen how much control has popped out of our community over the last few years. Nor the anger or the backlash. Just saying. All right, let's get back to where we were. All right, we're going to go over this one and do one more, and we'll close out for this one. All right, so this one states, I am writing to you as a behavior analyst of Massachusetts. Okay, we've already read this one, I think, but we'll go ahead and read it again. I must urge the Food and Drug Administration to prohibit the use of procedures which cause physical pain or deny a reasonable humane existence to persons with disabilities. Electrical stimulation devices intended for self-injurious or aggressive behavior. As a professional who works with autistic individuals, there are better, more compassionate and neurodiversity affirming ways to teach skills and distressed responses. As an ABA professional, can you tell me how ABA therapy in any way is affirming of neurodiversity? No, because I need you to explain this to me like I'm 5. How can you sit there and say, I affirm you in your autistic ways on one hand, while trying to force me to repeat a same behavior over and over and over again at the hopes of replacing a behavior you don't like? Because that doesn't sound very neurodiversity affirming to me. That sounds a whole like I want you to act like a neurotypical and react like a neurotypical when a certain stimulus set of actions take place. That is not affirming anything. It's teaching me to make a mask. Very detrimental to being affirming towards neurodivergence, don't you think? I'm not saying this to be cruel. I'm saying this because I need these individuals to take a real hard look at the things that they are placing forward for others. And at the very least, stop patting themselves on the back. And we've all got a lot of work to do. The use of any type of electric shock technology is archaic and inhumane. Maintaining these practices continues to undermine the growth and development of disability services have gained in the last decade. People worldwide look at the USA as having the best of the best treatment. honey, I hate to bust your bubble, but no. No, they don't. Here is the facts. The United States is by far the most expensive country on planet Earth when it comes to healthcare. In regards to overall quality of that healthcare, whether it's towards people with developmental disabilities or anywhere else, you want to know where we are sitting? 33. The 33rd best. And if you've ever been grown up in a very competitive family, if you get second place, you are still not the winner. That might sound cruel, but take a look. The world is cruel. Okay? Our healthcare system is nowhere near the top. Not even with folks with developmental disabilities. We got to get this out of our heads. The only way you can fix an issue is to realize there is an issue. Our medicine is absolutely and utterly subpar to other industrialized nations. I mean, we do not at all have the best of the best treatment. There are ancient Egyptians who had better access to health care and better medicine for their poor populations than we do right now in the year of our Lord 2025. Okay? However, our efforts continue to be diminished by also allowing a therapy that has been deemed torture by the United Nations and previously condemned by the FDA. Please support this ban so that we can continue to move forward into a more just and inclusive world where disabled individuals are treated with compassion and care. And we're actually going to go ahead and close out on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. If you all would be so kind to please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and of course, folks, please don't forget to hit the comments. I know we would definitely appreciate it. I do appreciate your time. And of course, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do. Hope you have a good one. I will go ahead and see you all again here in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.